All right, welcome back, everybody. So the big story of the day, of course, is that threat by university students nationwide to shut down universities. And that's something that we have been witnessing already around the area here in Johannesburg. Obviously, you know, we have Wits University that's very close to our Auckland Park studios. We've also got the University of Johannesburg that's up the road. So we did see some tyres burning outside of the SABC in the early hours of this morning. Our reporter Hasina Gori was there. She was talking to it. And but very quickly, we were asking you a question before we cross over to Hasina, who is getting ready for another crossing. I think she's moved on more towards Wits University, where I can see police already have started to come through. But this is the question we're asking you. Students have threatened to shut down all universities today, demanding student debt be scrapped. What are your views? Write to us. Get involved in the conversation. This is the big story for today. It has been for a while, but certainly today could be one of the bigger ones, because as we can see, Hasina, on our screen right now, let's talk to what is already starting in the early hours of this morning. We saw the protesters coming out. Now we can see police vehicles arriving. We know you're at Wits University, Hasina. Talk to us where you are, what is happening. We see a very large police contingency arriving.
Good morning. Actually, we are still here in Auckland Park, where the students from the University of Johannesburg have taken to the streets. They began from Campus Square outside, mobilizing through the streets of Auckland Park, where the residencies are, and just calling out on the students. They've just passed us a few moments ago. The contingent of police vehicles that you saw are those following the students this morning. With me is the SASCO spokesperson, just to give us a sense of what's planned for this morning and what has been happening so far. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Can you give us a sense of what's been happening this morning here on the streets of Auckland Park?
No, thank you very much, Hassan, and good morning to the viewers at home. Today we've taken up to the streets. We've, as different student organizations, come together, seen that this is not about us as different student organizations, but about the students who are faced with these exclusions. So we've taken up to the streets today as different organizations. We've tried to mobilize, as you can see down the road, student accommodations, which we were trying to mobilize different students under the clarion call. Simply now what we're doing, we're walking towards Bunting Road, which is another UJ campus, to try and meet with other comrades from that side to mobilize and strengthen our mobilization. Thank you very much.
What are the calls and the demands of the students?
Okay, thank you very much. No, the calls are no different and are no novel calls from what students from 2015 have called for during Fees Must Fall. What we are calling for is basically the clearance of historical debt. Prospective students who are coming in are being accepted one moment, you are no more accepted as a student. So it's really what we're calling for, the clearance of historical debt, the clearance of academic exclusion, stuff like that. So as students, we've mobilized behind this call. Fees must fall. It doesn't help for our government to really be rhetoric about these things and never really come up with the budget. It's very sad how our government went on to face on COVID, but never really assumed that we're, at this moment we'll be faced with a lot of students having historical debt. So what we've called for is for students to come down the streets. Don't be afraid. No one is going to be expelled. No one is going to be suspended. SASCO and National has called for this. EFF Student Command has called for this. Even SAUS, the South African Union of Students, have called for this. So we're very clear on this. We're not afraid of anything. We're going to take it down to the streets. The management of UJ has been in many various acts trying to masturbate our reaction. We've been sending a memorandum of demands, and they've been simply responding with just rhetoric. We're tired of that. We're now taking it to the streets. We're going to ejaculate with anarchy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was SASCO UJ spokesperson speaking to us in the streets of Auckland Park, where we saw protesting students just walk through. As you heard, they will be continuing from UJ's Kingsway campus to Bunting, which is another campus a few kilometers away, just down the road at Wits University. We know protesting students are expected to also take to the streets. We were there a little while ago. It is been quite quiet there at the moment. We know from management, they've said that campus will continue as usual, and we saw this morning the gates were open, and students have vowed to take to the streets later on. That's it for me from now. Back to you in studio.